Hey, what's up? My name is Steven. I make fonts as Arrow type. And if you're coming back to the channel, um, I haven't been posting for quite a few weeks now, so thanks for coming back. If you're finding me for the first time, I'm currently working on a family I call Lang Gothic, which is available currently on Future Fonts. I'm working on an update where I'll kind of finally release all of the styles. There's not that many styles in this family, actually, compared to other fonts I've worked on. But it'll be good to kind of share the whole spectrum here, get them on my website so more people can purchase them in more ways. And I'm going to push for a little bit of extra character set here. Today, I'm going to be probably cleaning up some of these kind of experimental sketch glyphs because I'm pretty confident at the direction of this family now. And I'll be seeing if I can make all of these Central European glyphs. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Quick, I guess, life update. Not that anybody asked for this or probably wants to hear it, but what's up, YouTube? I've been away for a while. I was lucky to visit my family and my wife's family over some Christmas time holidays. And yeah, I didn't really have much of a workspace set up, certainly didn't have a recording set up. So I just took a break from social media for a while, which I'm, I don't know, that's probably a terrible decision as a font foundry that's a single person, but oh well, social media can't run our lives, can it? Yeah, I've been well. One thing I'm pretty excited about is that for the last few years I've been working on skateboarding. I've gotten kind of obsessed with it. I try to do a little bit every day, and it's been really good for my health. And yeah, just recently I like kickflipped over a stick for the first time, which is kind of a milestone in a way.
Yes. Yes.
Kick flipping was way, way harder than I expected it to be. And then kick flipping at all consistently, like, by consistently, I mean once per session or a couple times per session, a few times per session. That's been a lot of work. And now getting kick flips to the point where I can like roll with relative normal speed and kick flip over something, that's also been a huge battle. So the next step I'm hoping to do is to kick flip up a curb. We'll see how long that takes. I thought it was something maybe I could get last year, but somewhat like making ambitious fonts, learning to skateboard in your 30s takes a lot of patience and consistent effort. So if you're doing either of those two things, making fonts, learning to skate, or doing something else fun and occasionally frustrating and which requires a lot of patience, stick with it. Thanks for watching today, and let's get to some actual font making. Okay, so one of the first things I want to do actually at this stage, now that I know what I want this font to be by and large, I'm going to delete a lot of the glyphs that are currently set to not export, but they're still kind of sticking around. And well, saying that shows me that I have been away from this for a little bit, because one thing I was doing a lot beforehand is that I had just set up a filter, or maybe this filter is like preset up in Glyphs app, where I just have exporting glyphs. And yeah, you can basically make a filter. If it's not there, double click it and say export glyph is yes, and right. Even so, I just think that I'm still gonna kind of move along. Yeah, it's basically these were just like a couple of levels too disco-y or something for me. Um a little chunky. I don't know. I It's funny. here's the current thing. Here's the thing with flare. Um, so actually I should like post this on the other side. I'm just kind of reviewing this, to be honest. Kind of again. Yeah, so the S has a pretty big difference here. The A, so now I've put the like new one over here. Let's put an arrow in here so you can kind of, where's the arrow? Sometimes glyphs are harder to find than they should be. This is the glyph palette, by the way. Really? Why does Mac make this harder than it needs to be? You can also, here, I think it's this one. Yes, okay. Oh my god, you know what? I'm in glyphs. I could have done Command F and then arrow right. All right, I'm being a little brain sludgy, but I'm just getting warmed up again. Wait, no, this is the flare. Ugh. All right. Let's look at like capital G and then G dot flare. Yeah, so it's not like an. Oh my god. I keep on messing up which is on which side. That's hilarious. Okay, so it's not like a huge difference, but it is a difference. These ones kind of like stabbed back a little bit or flared back into the bowl. These I flirted with really letting them taper almost as if there was nothing at the terminal. But kind of backed away from that because it felt a little too extreme in the other direction. These just feel kind of right to me, for lack of a better word. They feel kind of comfy. This is like maybe a bit like bell bottoms or something. If I really don't flare it, like I can probably even find in here layers potentially. Yeah. Well, you can see all sorts of differences. That's pretty fun. Some of these come from Lang. Yeah. Let's see if I've got other ones in here. Nope, not really. Well, this kind of shows it, I guess, where I had really kind of reduced the contrast on this end. But it just like that feels a little wacky in another way because then the bowl is quite a lot heavier than up here and it's kind of like a light spot. And so that was just a little too weird for me. I don't know. This feels more balanced where it is. So, um, anyway, it's a little distracting to see all of these non-exporting glyphs in here now. Oh, another big thing I've kind of moved on from was that I had a lot of these horizontals using kind of a flaring, which I love fonts that do this. And so I was keen to explore it in here, but it was just too disparate of an idea when I like walk around in a graveyard with stone carvings, which is this is a step removed from that because it's based on Lang, which is based on gravestone carvings. This is not directly based on gravestone carvings, but I had this question, do I flare them or not? The stone carvings I was looking at on old gravestones from the 1800s didn't have any flare, like anywhere. So yeah, that kind of allowed me to decide like, no, that doesn't make sense here. I will come back to it, I'm pretty sure. And I will make a flared sands someday. Let's set up a non-exporting glyphs thing. And I wonder if I could have just duplicated that one. Why is this hard? I can't find it. That's hilarious. Okay. Let me Export glyph. Okay, why was that not super obvious? Okay, I can't right click and that's too bad. All right, let's try it again though. Export glyph here. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Funny. All right, here we are. So non-exporting glyphs, all of these are non-exporting. That means they were experiments that I copied away. And sometimes I've hung on to sketch glyphs, kind of experimental glyphs for a long time. But eventually I think it's a really useful way to work early on, but I do kind of think like sometimes they get in the way later on. So, you know what? I'm just going to be bold and remove these. I am using Git, so I've got backups in that way. And then I'm also using just a very simple backup method where I have a folder for old sources and I made kind of a date stamped pre-flare cleanup and I copied these in here. Font files are so small, it kind of makes sense to do this. And then I have easy access to those if for some reason I do want to go and copy and paste them back in. But anyhow, Command delete. Let's get rid of these. All right. Check that that's the right one. Okay, so now there's no more non-exporting glyphs. And here we are, much simpler glyph set to look at and work with. So that's cool. Let's do that in the italic as well. Non-exporting glyphs, please. And yeah, kind of the same story. A lot of flares here and stuff, wedges. So goodbye. All right. All right, there we are. And I am seeing that I have a lot of these little blue triangles, which indicate that the metrics are out of sync. So one basic thing I'm going to do in this session also is just like, let's go and look at those and clean them up. But for now, let's look at our Git status. Okay. I'm sort of surprised that there's not more changes. I'm going to pop this open in VS Code, which has a nicer view for Git in many ways. So I don't want these autosaved to be in there at all. I'm surprised that usually my git ignore, okay, I guess I hadn't done that yet. So let's add autosaved into our git ignore. And we'll say ignore glyphs backup files. Okay, and then let's see. Cool. So we'll just add that one separately. Ignore. Okay, I had changed the background. I am a little curious why did these okay, here we go. I guess I hadn't completely saved them. Yeah, now here are many changes. So that's cool. I'm just gonna kind of write a commit message like delete old experimental glyphs and sources. Cool. And let's pop this over here. Okay. And so let's look at our metrics out of sync. Okay, not very many in the Roman, which is nice. That one's easy. By the way, I just do Control Command M and that puts them back into sync. And I do think it can be there. I'm showing metrics with Command Shift M. I do think it can be useful to kind of go one at a time. It's not as great often to just like select everything and sync all the metrics and hope for the best. It can be kind of good to at least check that Nothing unexpected is happening. And sometimes, like right there, metrics are kind of like tied to one another in a not totally obvious way. So it can be good to, I don't know, solve them like that. This looks wrong to me. I'm going to like cheat it in a little bit. That just looks better. Same story here. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. Let's also do that for the italic. There's a lot more here. And you know what? I'm going to use a little spacing script. Just to better see the effect of. Honestly, I should make a spacing script that is less intense. But this is fine. Okay, a lot of these were just because I guess I changed the side bearings of the H very subtly, but hadn't done that for all of the other straight characters, straight-sided characters. Should the M really be tighter? I mean, I've probably looked at it and thought it looked looser because there's this dense interior space. I'm gonna make it a little bit less so, just because it feels riskier to have it too tight than to have it the same. So some of these might be like out of sync in the light master, light source. I'm guessing that's what's happened. So, all right, these definitely need more. Oh, comma, quote single base. Oh, interesting. Period minus 37. So that feels wrong to me. I think it is wrong. Let's give it more space. I see. It's funny. Here it looks tighter, but then here it doesn't, which is sort of weird. Like it's just a optical situation, as is so often the case. Yeah, what the heck? All right, and let's go to the next source. Let me check, by the way. All right, so metrics out of sync, there's fewer of them. I do think it pulls in from the different sources. So let's rerun our script, last script, to put these into a, see why, oh, it's like one of those, okay. Changed it elsewhere. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is something I learned somewhat recently. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos probably, but sometimes you want references to be a little different between sources. So maybe here I want it to be h minus 2, but here I want it to be h plus 10 or something. What I can do is I can do equals equals h minus, say, 12, and then it only applies that to the current source or master or layer or whatever, but here it's still h minus 2. So that's kind of cool. I don't actually want it like this, so I'm just going to do it to the default that it was at. Or not the default, but the thing it was at. Okay. So yeah, you can see it here. I'm using it equals equals. This is a good example of where I think it could use a bit of extra space. Oh, I guess it does have some, but only, I see. But it was only in the heavier layer there. I'm kind of looking down here. All right, I think that's fine. I'm using this Command Control M a whole lot. It's funny that this isn't quite letting me actually. Oh, I see. I kind of have too many references there. I see why. It's saying it has to be 615 and it prioritizes that over the side. Which is odd because it does work out here, but not here. Strange. Oh well, if it's a unit off, that's fine. All right. Cool. So, well, now this should say that if I click off and on, so there are a lot fewer out of sync. One of them we know is kind of wrong or unfixable, perhaps. So why is that? I think probably this is centered. Well, is it? I guess so. Oh, it's kerned in a strange way, but okay. That's probably because it was off-centered, so it'll fix itself once we use kern on again. If we turn off kerning, maybe I've got to do this a little bit. Yeah, this is kind of, oh, wait a minute. This guideline is probably not centered anymore. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, and now that works better below. Okay. All right. Okay, so now let's see. This is the only metric out of sync there. That is good. And this, I guess, is the only metric out of sync here. So nice. Okay. That feels good to have sources that are kind of cleaned up. And in fact, let's just resync metrics. Cool. All right. I do have, okay, that's good. In fact, I don't remember if this is something I had already released in version 0.2, maybe. This kind of thing where there are alternates where it gets too heavy. Let's check on that. So here we go. Let's check these out. We want that. Wait. Cool. I guess I feel like maybe the O slash did not need it. But the $sign definitely did, so that's good. Cool, cool. I might do it to the O slash later. I recently fixed these. The Karen should be over the Z, but I had a build issue even though they were correct in the sources. Okay. Oh, so wait, I wonder, that was version 2, kind of what's been released. And has it changed at all? I don't think so, honestly, but oh, I could just hold Option when I do that. Okay, yeah, it's just a $sign. Oh well, I really don't think those do need it for now, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do that later. All right, it is the case though that this needs more glyphs, more characters, because right now it's kind of sparse still. It's not able to support a bunch of Central European, and then, that's not to speak of Vietnamese. I will be releasing an update really soon, and I can't say yet whether I'll try to fit in Vietnamese. I'll have quite a bit to do, I think, like aside from that. So that might be a version 0.4 thing. I will add it, but maybe not just yet. But you know what? Let's just look and see how Central European goes. So basically, I'm just going to right click this and let's generate and see how it goes. So it pops in a bunch of, and it's not actually that many. Pops in some glyphs that we need here. So it's things like, I'm surprised the ogonek. I guess maybe I already had an ogonek going. So that's good for Polish. It's just like comma accents really, and a couple of like L slashes, T Croat. Yeah, not very much actually. So that's kind of nice. Maybe I will do Vietnamese. Let's pull these up. Okay, so Hungarian umlaut. Let's get our acute combining and pop that in here. And you scooch over. And we'll do you. And kind of feel like this could be a little more upright to let these work better. I should probably look up how the combining Hungarian umlaut should look. I mean, I know it's like a couple of acutes, sort of, but it's possible that it's possible that it should be more upright or less upright or something of the sort. For now, I might just leave it like that. Karen Com Alt. This is for like the L Karen. Apparently, it's sometimes been like 1/2 of this, apparently, but when you see it in most fonts, it's a lot more like a prime symbol, like this. So I think I'll do it like that. Command U to get the top right thingy. And let's make it more of the size of our accents. Why doesn't this have an alignment zone? Let's check on that. Oh, because we're in it's probably fine to duplicate it. We're in a lowercase, so it wasn't showing us the alignment zone that was there for the uppercase. Let's do Command U to get this centered thing there. Or rather, the top right anchor. When you do Command U, it kind of like suggests several anchors, which can be quite useful. All right, we'll call it good with that. For now. And then we'll review that in a sec. Comma turned up. What is the quote base? I kind of feel like it could just take this. Let's decompose it. For one thing, I'm going to make this flat so it fits in better with those. And funny enough, the width of combining accents doesn't actually matter that much in glyphs. As far as I'm aware, they often just get kind of squished down to 0 units when an actual font is built with them, because that's how combining glyphs are supposed to be. And glyphs sort of internally in its format uses positive spacing for these just because it's more intuitive to draw that way, which basically means that these are one of the few glyphs that you don't have to worry so much about spacing in spacing strings and such, as long as you worry about the alignment of that. If that makes any sense. So often I'll like set them to a centered guide, for instance. Just because that is a helpful thing to kind of know where they will fall on glyphs that are composed with them. Comma, accent, I forget how I've approached this in other fonts, but I think perhaps I'll often basically use this one as a basis. All right, now that we've got those, what we can do is let's delete all of the Central European glyphs that don't yet have anything in them. Okay, like these. And then we'll make them again. So basically, Command Delete, remove, and then right click, generate, boom. Now that we added our comma accent, for instance, we get those generated. Let's also do that for like the Hungarian umlaut. You should be able to generate. I'm just going to copy the glyphs names just in case. Okay, no, they're here. Boom. They're in there. Let's, I wonder if this L Karen should be this kind of Karen or different. We can actually just copy and paste that. Aha. Glad I checked. It was wrong. You can copy and paste this and then, yeah. Wonder if that is too light. I think it might be. Oh, well, these are both wrong. So let's change that. L Karen, Command Delete, and then better. Cool. Yeah, you got to be careful with some of those. In glyphs, it's really easy to mess that up. I think this doesn't have enough space. Wonder what would happen. Yeah, basically I think this has auto alignment and we probably don't want it to, just because it's just, what? There we go. Yeah, we just need space for it. Here also, I think. Why won't it allow me to disable auto alignment? Do I have to do it one at a time? Okay. Well, those are maybe okay. It still feels really squished. Wait, I should probably change it in here. Or partly in there, I think. Oh, except... Oh. I don't know, this is always one that makes me a little nervous, right? I want to do it well, but it's easy for it to look like it's drifting away. We'll call it good for now. And yeah, I usually just make these, all three of these, by just slightly manually doing it and then drawing on top. There's probably like a combination way you can do it, but there's not very many of them, so I don't know if it's worth it. That's what I want. Add points. I'm shifting that slightly so it's like kind of more optically aligned. Something cool is if you select a segment and you add a guide, it will add the guide like that, where it shows you how it shoots around, if that makes sense. L. Let's copy this. It probably needs to shoot over a bit more to look like it's kind of even. And as far as I know, you just kind of want these to look sort of centered. If you have strong opinions on this, let me know in the comments, for instance. I sometimes look these things up, sometimes ask about them, and sometimes just kind of trust that I'm doing it mostly right, but I realize that I am not an expert here. Just trying to space it moderately well. I'll probably just match this. That feels overcurrent to me, but we'll fix it in Kernon, I think. I should probably be keeping a tab of things I intend to fix in Kernon. Okay. In fact, let's do this now. I'm using Kernon for some of my in-progress fonts, including Lang Gothic and Lang, and it can be pretty helpful. So let's take a look. LH is set to auto. Is that really? I'm gonna, oh wait, let me drag it over here so you actually see what I'm doing. I just kind of set it a little bit bigger. Sure, it can reduce some space, but I don't want it to reduce a ton. That is an L, so it should have space, is my thinking. Yeah. What was the other? It was this, wasn't it? It's really kerning in the period. I don't like that. That feels overcurrent. What if we do like 0.1? So why would this not? All right, well, we'll run car9. Should be a slight improvement. All right. And let's catch up in our italic because we've set up most, maybe all of the Central European things that we need to set up. I'm probably wrong about that, but we've made progress. Let me search for my Oganek and see how those are doing while we're at this. This looks wrong to me just at a glance. Yeah, definitely. So that's fine. That's not fine, but really easy to fix. Okay. Way off. Okay. Let's make sure we fix it here as well. This seems irrelevant. Okay, I'm glad I took a look at that. Those were not looking good. Okay, let's also do, you know what, I'm just gonna quickly try to look into this Carnon to kind of balance this out. Aha, there we go. Basically it's saying, now that I've fixed the alignment of the exclamation point, it's not kerning them so differently anymore. Still kerning in it a little bit, which is interesting. Okay, but that's better. So, okay. Now let's make those Central European glyphs and see where we're at. I see it does make the Oganex, and that is why my Oganex were off, because I didn't really have them before. So let's go back and fix those first thing this time. I'm just going to put them in a line above. A, E, I, U, A, E, I, U. Because all I really need to do is shift these anchors to where they can be to not have the Oganek hanging out on its own. This needs to be corrected, I think. Basically, this contour was winding in the wrong direction, which resulted in a bad overlap here. Not what I wanted. When you're used to working on something like Illustrator, you don't really ever consider that Bezier curve paths would have a winding direction, like a direction they go in counterclockwise or clockwise. It's only really something you start to encounter when you're making fonts, and then it becomes really important. These could be slightly smoother connections. Sometimes people do a really nice job of making them really smooth. For now, I'm going to not do that, just to give myself more flexibility down the line. Okay, so let's pop these up and work on them. And here I'm going to, let's see, what if I copy and paste from one glyph thing to the next? What if I do, I think if I do this, that slants it to about the degree I want it to be. And I'll probably want to like beef these up slightly to compensate. Nope. Trying to use shortcuts to zoom around. Oh, did I close out of the other one? Ha. I did Command W. Okay. Pull you back up, please. Too many open windows. Look at that. Okay. This one I should fix because that curve gets pretty weird. That's still not perfect, to be honest. Maybe I better fix it here. It just looks a little lumpy to me. It's a little hard to know exactly how it should go. But this feels better. Eventually I'll really want to add extrema here, I think, but for now it should be kind of fine. I'm going to add this to the background as kind of a reference. Make it the same height. Okay. And here. Will this work? Nice, it does. And I didn't want to slope the component because it's already referencing something that's been italicized. We could put this there, saying it doesn't have that yet because it doesn't. And something useful to be sure of is if you're using component references where you've like flipped things around like 180 as I have there, you want to make sure that somewhere in your build that's being decomposed, or you can just decompose it when you're drawing. But if it's not getting decomposed, that can cause issues in like printers specifically. I think I'm doing that here. Honestly, I should check that. All right. In fact, I'm going to write that. Okay, I think those are ready. So let's go here again. Let's also delete our Karen. We'll do the L/ separately. Okay. So I think let's do these now. I see I hadn't yet cool. So once we do add those, it starts to sort itself out, which is nice. And let's make sure we allow ourselves to add some spacing for it. Okay. Feels like that should be just slightly wider. All right. Getting there, getting there. Let's do the L/, and then I think I'm gonna call it a wrap because I have somewhere I need to be. And it's been a long enough video, I'm sure. Okay, let's get these. Oh, okay. It's weird that this... Okay. I'm gonna like slightly flatten these out, I think. I'm just trying to get the contrast more correct. This is the most useful view of it. I guess also I'm matching the contrast to there, which is also useful to think about. All right, that's pretty okay. Okay. I'm just kind of matching these numbers for now. Let's make this a little taller. I kind of feel like it has to be slightly longer also, actually. Just because it felt cut off. I don't know. Okay, and then we're almost there. Let's pop this guy in here. And felt just too small to me. Okay. All right, so let's see. Our Central European kind of looks okay. I think in the interest of time, I maybe won't even build the font right now. Yeah, I've been going for an hour, so that's plenty of time. Plus I had an intro. Plenty of time for a YouTube video, but that is one thing I'll build and include in the forthcoming update to this font. So it'll support more languages. And I'll probably want to do a bit of like localization as well at this stage. So, you know what? I'm going to mark that down. I'm going to say I pretty much got this. Of course, there's a caveat that I have to test it a little bit, but localization. That is definitely high time for localization now. And yeah, I'm going to prioritize that as well. Okay. But yeah, there we have it. If you're familiar with doing, does that feel, maybe it's fine. I don't know, it feels a little bit better like that, I think. If you're familiar with making accents and glyphs, then this was nothing special to you, unless you just like to watch somebody work, which is totally chill. So thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a great day. If you're working on a creative project or a fun project or skateboarding or something else, I hope it's going great. And yeah, take care.